All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. Today's webinar is Crew Tools for the Costume Department, and we will be doing a wrap overview. My name is Natalie, and I'm on the marketing team here at SyncOnSet, and I have with me my colleague Savannah from the account management team who will be leading you through today's tutorial. Before we jump into the demo, let's take a look at what we're going to cover today. Today's webinar is designed for the costume department, so this includes costume supervisors, coordinators, and any other costume crew who are responsible for the wrap process. Today, we will cover a full overview of the wrap process, and that includes the wrap index, how to wrap inventory, and we'll cover some reports, and we'll also give you some best practices. Now, while Savannah will be walking you through the demo today, I will be monitoring for any submitted questions, so please feel free to write in with questions as you think of them. You may submit questions using the Q&A function that you should see at the bottom of your screen, and we'll take some time following the demo to answer questions. Following today's webinar, you're going to receive a few resources from us, and this is going to include a recording of today's webinar and a link to the Crew Tools FAQ page. And we'll also provide you a link to the SyncOnSet support site. We launched a new support site at the beginning of this year, and that address is support.synconset.com. And there is the place where you can find all of our help articles, recordings of past webinars, and you can sign up for upcoming webinars, which we host each month. And we will also give you a link to the productioncommunity.com. This is a resource offered by entertainment partners, and this is where you can find their master series. And this is a series of webinars covering the business and technology of production. There's also a community forum where you can connect with other industry professionals and much, much more. So we suggest that you head over if you're interested. And with that, I'm going to pass things over to Savannah, and we'll get started with today's demo.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Natalie, and thank you for everyone for joining us today. As Natalie mentioned, we're going to be covering the wrap process for the costume department. So that's going to start with the wrap box index. We'll then jump into wrapping inventory. So we're going to go over how to wrap inventory by change, character, and item. Then we will jump into generating reports. And then we're just going to go over some best practices. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump over to the website to start the demo. Just give me a minute here to switch over. All right, so hopefully everyone can see my screen here. I'm currently logged into SyncOnSet Crew Tools and I clicked into one of my demo productions. Now for this demo, we're assuming that all of the information has been added in as it would have been if you were using Crew Tools throughout your entire production. So all of the scripts are uploaded and all of the photos and information has already been added in. Now, if you're not familiar with how to do this, or if you haven't had an intro to Crew Tools, please feel free to check out some of our other webinars. For now, again, we're just going to assume that this information is all in there, and we're going to be covering wrap. So the first thing you're going to want to do when you log in for wrap is you're going to want to make your way up to the top navigation bar over where it says inventory, and you're going to click on wrap in the dropdown. Now that you've done that, you're going to land on a page that looks like this. Now this is called the wrap box index. Just a general overview of this page, you'll notice that it has some wrap boxes included in it. So here you're going to see all of your wrap boxes listed out. Now if you haven't created any wrap boxes, don't worry if this appears blank. Again, this is just a test production, as you can see, with a few wrap boxes already added in. So for each of these wrap boxes, you'll notice there's some information, including the box number, a box description, storage location, as well as department. And of course, for set deck, you can add in a palette. Okay, so let's get started here. So one of the things that you can do on this page is add in wrap boxes. So to do that, you're going to click on this blue add button in the right corner where my clicker is. And you're going to have the ability to create a box number. So the only thing you need to include is the box number. The rest of the information is optional. Let's go ahead and create a test box. We're going to say it is box number 4, and we'll call this something creative like test 2. Okay. From there, you can also select a location if you've added in storage locations. Let's go ahead and say we're going to store this in the gold room. Now you can either select create to create that wrap box, or you can hit the plus sign and that will allow you to create this wrap box and then create another one automatically. So let's just go ahead and hit create for now, and you'll immediately see that box number appear here. So a few other things about this page. You can bulk edit all of your wrap boxes by selecting the Edit All button. When you click that, you'll notice that all of the fields open up and you can add in any additional information or edit them from here. Once you're done, just make sure you hit save. Sometimes if you're scrolling down and you get to the bottom of the page and you can't see the save button, it's easy to walk away and forget to save. So always just remember to come back in here and do that. If you want to edit a line individually, you can also do that by selecting the vertical ellipsis in line with the wrap box you'd like to edit. So I'm going to go ahead and edit box 4 by clicking the ellipsis, and you can hit edit. Also note here that this is how you would delete a wrap box. Okay, so if I hit edit, it's going to open up that particular wrap box, and you can edit anything in here as well. So there are just two different ways to edit if you want to quickly do an individual wrap box or if you want to bulk edit all of them. Once you're done, go ahead and hit save again. So the other thing you can do on this page is edit your storage locations. To do that, you're going to click this horizontal ellipses in between the Edit All and the Add button. When you click that, you'll notice that you can edit storage locations here. So you can select your department, and then you can either delete storage locations or add in a storage location. Okay, to do that, you would just click here and then add it in and hit done. I'm going to go ahead and click out of that for now. So once you've done that, the other thing I want to show you on this page is the search bar. This search bar allows you to sort your wrap box index. So for example, we only have 4 wrap boxes, so it's pretty visible here. But if you're actually wrapping out and you have a number of different wrap boxes, you may want to come here to quickly search for them instead of scrolling through the entire list. And you can search for anything on this page. So you can search by box number, by box description, by storage location, by department, and by palette. Okay, so let's say if I just wanted to see box 4, I could type that in and it would filter down my list. Okay, so that is the wrap box index. I'm going to go ahead and jump into a wrap box now to show you what that looks like and also how to add in inventory. So let's go ahead and click into box 1, which happens to be called Bob's Changes. Awesome. So this is the wrap box view. You'll notice that it can be grouped by character as it is right now, or you can always click the blue character button and it will sort it by change. Okay, so I'm going to keep it sorted by character for now. And you'll notice that it lists out all of the costume items that are in this wrap box. On the right-hand side, there is a details box, which also includes any details for the wrap box, as well as any changes appearing in this wrap box. This is totally customizable, this table here. So if you want to change which columns are visible, you can always select the Choose Columns button up here to the left of the Add button. Okay, so now that we're clicked into a wrap box, I want to show you how to add inventory. Now you can either add inventory again by item, by change, or by character, and there are multiple different ways to add in that inventory. For now, I'm going to show you how to do it from the wrap box. So I'm going to click the blue Add button, and you'll notice a few different options here. You can either create a new inventory piece directly from the wrap box, or you can add an existing change or an existing item. I'm going to go ahead and just show you what each of these looks like so you can see quickly. I'm going to hit Create New, And you'll notice that this is where you would add in a new inventory piece. This looks like a lot of information, so don't be overwhelmed by this. The only thing you have to add in is the name of the item. So if this doesn't match your workflow and it seems like too much work, again, you can add the bare minimum if that's helpful for you. So what you would do is you would add a name in, and then you could add any of this additional information. Just make sure you select the correct department up here where my mouse is. And then you'll want to add in the wrap box down here where my mouse is now, okay? And then once you do that, you can hit create, or you can go ahead and hit create and add another. I'm not going to create it for now. I'm just going to walk you through it, and that's how you would do that, okay? All right, so under the add button, there's also the option to add an existing change. Now, this is where the character would come into play. So if I click add existing change, I can select a character. So let's say I wanted to add a change for Richard. I could also select the episode, and then I could select the change or changes, okay? So that's how you would do it, and you would create you would add the change to the box by hitting add, or again, you can add and create another, okay? I'm gonna exit out of that for now. And then last but not least, in the wrap box, you can add existing inventory. So if I were to select this, I could go ahead and select the inventory by clicking this blue box and add that directly to the wrap box. So it's pretty easy. Hopefully it's very intuitive for you when you're in here wrapping out. There are so many different ways you can add an inventory. Whatever matches your current workflow, there should be a process for doing it within Crew Tools, okay? So that's showing you how to do it from the wrap box. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the inventory index and show you how to wrap out that way. So if we make our way back up to the top navigation bar, I'm gonna go ahead and select inventory. And on this page, this is called the inventory index. You're gonna see all of the costume items available to you that you've created thus far. So you can add these directly into a wrap box from this index by selecting the vertical ellipses in line with the particular item or items that you would like to add to wrap boxes. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to do it with this bomber jacket. We're seeing that it is currently in wrap box 1. Just a quick note, again, this table is completely customizable. So if you're not seeing the wrap box column listed out here, make sure you click this choose columns button in the upper left-hand corner. And this will allow you to select your visible columns. Sorry about that. I just had to take a quick sip of water. I'm going to click out of that now. And I'm going to show you how to add this piece of inventory to a wrap box. So I'm going to click that vertical ellipsis in line with the bomber jacket, and I'm going to select edit. Now when I do that, you'll notice that there's an edit wrap box button. I'll go ahead and click that edit wrap box, and I can add it to a specific wrap box. Let's say I want to add it to box 3. And a quick note here, this is really handy and something new. You can actually select the quantity that you want to add to a particular box. So say for example, we had 5 of this bomber jacket. You could actually add 2, or however you want to divide it, to a specific wrap box, and then add the remaining amount to another wrap box, just so you don't have to add everything to one wrap box. Once you do that, go ahead and hit save. So for now, I'm just going to exit out of this for the demo's sake and hit save again. So that is how you would wrap out an inventory item from the inventory index. Now I'm going to go ahead and actually click into the particular inventory item and show you how to wrap it out from that page. So now we're clicked into this bomber jacket. This is the inventory view page. You'll notice on the right-hand side that there is this photo tab. You can always scroll down and you'll see wrap box info here. If you click the pencil icon in line with wrap box info, you'll be able to see the same pop-up that we saw on the inventory index. Now you can go ahead and assign it to a wrap box or multiple wrap boxes and put in the count for each one as well. Once you do that, just go ahead and hit save. Okay. Perfect. So the next thing I want to show you is how to wrap out an entire change. So we saw how to do that quickly from the wrap box view page. You can add an existing change. You can also do it from the change view page. So let's go into Richard's character and let's take a look at some of his changes. I'm going to jump into his change 1. Now that we're on the change view page, you'll see on the right-hand side again, there is this details box, and you can select the wrap box info pencil icon in line with the wrap box info title. When you click that, you'll notice that you can add an entire change to a wrap box. So you can go ahead and select the wrap box that you'd like to add it to. And just as a disclaimer, as it says in here, any items in this change which are not already assigned to a different box will be added into the box that you're assigning it to now. Otherwise, inventory assigned to other boxes will not be affected. Okay, so once you do that, go ahead and hit save, and that will allow you to add that entire change to a wrap box. Great, so that was kind of the whirlwind tour of wrap and adding inventory to the different wrap boxes. Again, if I can stress one thing, is that there are multiple ways to add inventory to wrap boxes from different locations within the website, as well as how you want to wrap. So if you want to wrap by item, by character, or by change. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about quickly is reports. So reports are of course very important during wrap. If you come up to the top navigation bar, you're going to see the reports tab. I'm going to go ahead and click directly into there. And you'll see a bunch of different reports. If you've used Crew Tools before, this should look very familiar to you. The first one I'll point out is this changes detail report. This is going to be your digital continuity book. So if you go ahead and click generate report, you'll notice that you can sort by character or by scene. You can include all characters if you'd like, or select a specific character, and you can choose whether or not you want to include continuity photos. So for today, I'm going to do all characters, and I'm going to include continuity photos and click generate. Hopefully this is fairly quick. It will show you this pop-up to print everything. A quick note here is that you can always change the destination and save it as a PDF instead of printing it out. That way you can email it around, or you can save it onto a hard drive, thumb drive. Okay, once you do that, I'm going to I'm sorry, I can't speak today. I'm going to cancel out of this for now, and you can see what that report looks like. Okay. Again, keep in mind, these are just demo photos. All right, so I'm going to jump back over to the reports tab. We just looked at the changes detail. The other thing I want to point out is the all items report, so the item source report. This will list out all of the items and whether they were bought, rented, made to order, or if they were promotional items. Okay, so you can sort this by all characters or specific characters. I'm just going to do all characters and generate the report quickly. Again, you'll see the same pop-up. I'm going to hit cancel, and then you'll see the item report. Okay, it's sorted by character here. Okay. Jumping back into the reports tab, there are just a couple of more that I want to point out to you. Down at the very bottom, you'll see a specific section for wrap reports. Now within here, you'll see the hold tags report. This will generate tags for rental items that need to be held until a certain date. So these tags are formatted to print a label writer. Okay, so if I wanted to generate that report, I could go ahead and hit generate report, and you'll notice that this is highly customizable. You can have the name of the tag selected, as well as whether you want the front and back filled with information. You can generate the report for all characters or specific characters, and you can do it for rental houses, and then add in that hold and tell information, as well as a contact and phone number. Okay. The last report that I want to point out is the wrap boxes report. So this is going back to what we just went over when we saw all of the wrap boxes and all of the information that we can add into each wrap box. The wrap box report will list all of your wrap boxes and all of the items that have been added into each one of those wrap boxes. So I know we don't have a very robust production filled out. It's just a small demo production, but try to use your imagination and think of what this report would look like if it was completely filled out. So I'm going to go ahead and hit generate report. And I'm going to do all wrap boxes, and I'm not going to separate it by page. So I'm going to go ahead and hit generate. Perfect. And you'll see the pop-up again, and you'll see kind of what that wrap box report looks like. It will be separated out here. You'll see the wrap box 1 and all of the info for that wrap box, and then wrap box 2 as well. And everything in here will be on that wrap box index page. Okay, so I'm going to jump back over to the reports tab and hit cancel. So hopefully that helped you understand wrap a little bit for the costume department. I know we quickly went over the wrap box index as well as how to wrap out inventory and some of the most commonly used reports when wrapping out for the costume department. So that concludes the demo portion of today's webinar. I'm going to jump back over to the PowerPoint and go over some best practices. Okay, awesome. Let's go over best practices. So one thing is remember that you can add items and changes to wrap boxes from multiple places within Crew Tools. Feel free to pick whatever suits your workflow. If you have multiples of a certain item, you can assign different quantities of each item to different wrap boxes. Don't forget to check out the specific costume wrap reports. And last but not least, don't forget to bookmark the Help Center. As Natalie mentioned, we have a fully new Help Center at support.synconset.com.
All right, thank you so much, Savannah. Excuse me. Now that we have concluded our demo, we're going to give just a few more seconds for questions to be submitted, and then we will get started with the Q&A portion of this webinar. So while you're writing in with your questions, we want you to know that we will try to get to as many as possible, but if for some reason we don't get to your question, please don't worry. We are recording all questions, and we will be sending out additional information following this webinar. So we'll just go ahead and give a few more seconds for any last questions, and we will get started momentarily. All right, everyone, thank you for submitting your questions, and we're going to go ahead and get started.
Okay, we got a lot of great questions. So I'm going to start with one that asks, can I access the wrap box index on mobile? So the answer to this is no, the wrap portion of SyncOnSet Crew Tools is specifically available for the website portion of this. So you can always view the wrap box that a particular inventory is part of, inventory item, excuse me, but you won't be able to do the full wrap on the mobile app. It's a great question. Okay, we got another one that said, can you change the box numbers later? And the answer to that is yes, of course. On that wrap box index, you can always go ahead and edit those. Let's see. We can have another question that says, can I view multiple departments at once while wrapping? Okay, I'm assuming this isn't just in case you're putting, different items in the same wrap box. The answer to this is yes, you can. With the release of the new Crew Tools, you can view multiple departments at once, and that includes wrap boxes as well. So you can always view multiple departments at once. Great question. All right, we have another question that says, do I have to wrap by episode? The answer to that is no. Wrap boxes exist across the entire series and are viewable regardless of what episode or episodes you have selected. So you don't have to be in a specific episode. You can wrap out across all of those episodes. Okay, let's see. Give me one more second to view these questions. Okay, there's one about adding in photos, which is a great question. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen one more time and just show you how to do that quickly. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen now. I'm in a wrap box. So what I did is I went to the wrap box index. You'll see it here. You can always go ahead and click into a particular wrap box. I'm going to click into wrap box 1. And if I wanted to change the photo for this wrap box, I can go into this details tab and select the horizontal ellipsis. And I can always change the photo here. That will allow me to upload a new photo. You'll also notice that all of the inventory photos for particular items are visible within the wrap box as well. Okay, so it looks like that's all the time we have for questions right now. If we didn't get to your question, we will definitely shoot you an email. Give me a second to stop sharing here and I will hand it over to Natalie.
All right, everyone, thank you so much for submitted questions. And again, if we didn't get to your question due to time, we are going to be sending out follow-up emails with answers to your questions. So please keep an eye out for those along with the recording that you will receive of today's webinar. Outside of today's webinar, if you do happen to think of any questions that you have, please know that you can reach out to our support team via multiple ways. We have the chat bubble that you should see in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen when you are logged in to synconset.com. There you can actually contact a live person. It's not just a bot. So, feel free to reach out to us if you have quick questions, and they'd be happy to answer that way. You can send us an email at support@synconset.com, or you can give us an old-fashioned phone call. We'd love to hear from you. Our support hours are Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And outside of those hours, if you do have any questions or you want to do a little bit of self-guided learning, please know that you can head over to support.synconset.com and peruse all of our help articles and watch past webinars. We have quite a library built up of previous webinar recordings, and we have them organized by department. So you should be able to find a playlist that covers most topics that you may have questions about. All right, and we just again want to say thank you to everyone who took the time to join us for today's webinar. We hope that this was really informative and gave you great pieces of information about how to wrap. If you wouldn't mind, once this webinar has concluded, if you could please complete our feedback survey. We would really love to know how we did and if there's anything that we can improve on our future webinars, because we do run these webinars each month. And speaking of the future webinars, we do encourage you to sign up for additional webinars. We send out notices each month ahead, a couple weeks ahead of time, and we encourage you to attend as many as would be interesting to you. And you can also always go ahead and watch the past recordings of webinars on our help site. So thank you again to everyone for joining us, and we hope that you enjoy the rest of your day.